Hello, everyone. While a Korean leader is visiting Russia, the question on everyone's mind is not only are they going to reach a deal, but what is that going to mean for the course of the war Russia is waging against Ukraine? Of course, there's been warnings from the international community, including from the US. So that's neither here nor there. We already know that such things have no effect on Russia whatsoever. And there is the fact of Putin's political and economic isolation as the result of this war. So he will have no scruples trying to secure support from anybody, including terrorist states such as North Korea and Iran. And this is the big question. This article is in Reuters, but I'm sure there are bits and pieces of the answers across other sources looking at this meeting between North Korea and Russia. And the general answer is not really, but it could be a huge nuisance. So, as I've mentioned before, Ukraine has been struggling with getting ammunition in time, getting weapons in time, because Ukraine is trying to follow proper channels, have some respect toward official proceedings among its allies and so forth. And Russia, North Korea, to some extent China and Iran, have no such thing as following proper anything. North Korea does have a stockpile of old ammunition that would fit the old Soviet-style weapons Russia is now using. However, there is a suggestion that due to improper storage, improper maintenance, and so on and so forth, whatever North Korea has is probably not in good shape. And Russian weapons intended to use this ammunition are also not in fabulous shape. So, from that standpoint, it's not a huge threat. But, again, like I said, it is bound to create a lot more nuisance for Ukrainian people because they're going to use this crap with no precision, to speak of, and just continue pummeling Ukrainian civilians. So that is the concern. In other news, Russia continues to treat Ukrainian POWs abominably. In this particular case, it had sentenced 2 Ukrainian soldiers to 29 years of prison each, which is not new. They've been doing this for a while now. As we know, some of the soldiers have been exchanged, which is a good thing, but there's a lot more where that came from. And of course, Russia is accusing them of terrorism, of extremism, and of shooting at a car full of civilians, which begs the question, do you have proof? Very unlikely. And which begs another question, what about all of the Ukrainian civilians fired upon by Russian troops on an hourly basis? When are they going to get 30-year terms in prison? A lot of us covering this war are tired beyond description of Russia's shenanigans, especially since those go unpunished. And it sounds like our latest addition to this group is U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Welcome to the fold, brother. But seriously, so he described the war in Ukraine as one of the most acute threats to international order. And he's right. Many times in these reports, I spoke about the impact of the war in Ukraine on global economy, on the state of world hunger, etc. And of course, there is the political upheaval this had caused. So he is right, and all of the concerns that he is bringing up. He is trying to figure out how the heck did this happen? You know, where we had some stability for a while and then this. So I'm glad somebody is acknowledging that this is a serious problem and this is a problem with global implications. This affects everybody, including people who deny this affects them. To add on a brighter note, Ukraine had struck yet another of big Russian ships, the ship Minsk, ironically named after the capital of Belarus. So at the bottom is the picture before it was hit, and on top is the picture after it was hit. Initially, Russian media spun it as the ship being somewhat damaged. And then NATO satellite photos emerged showing basically the picture on top. And so Russian media was forced to acknowledge that it's not somewhat damaged, that it's basically completely messed up. So, good on you, Ukrainian drone operators. Good job.